Welcome to the Calypso Series, a production of the Grenada Cultural Foundation designed to educate and entertain as we reminisce on the creative musical geniuses of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Let's take a journey down Calypso memory lane.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, good night, good morning. I'm not sure what time of day you're looking at this, but welcome to this, our first series of Down Memory Lane. And of course, it's produced by the Cultural Foundation. As you know, the motto is keeping the culture alive. I'm your host for this particular segment, and I'm sure you all know me, Ann Peters. And we are going to be having a wonderful evening of discussion around Calypso. Now, I have two honorable gentlemen sitting with me, one on my left, one on my right. Now, both of them are Calypsonians. Don't argue with me, I know what I'm saying. They are Calypsonians. And we're going to be talking a little bit about their own journey. And one of the things I like about this session I'm going to share with you is that those two people, the one on my left, one on my right, and even me, we never went to any university to research Calypso and know about the art form. We lived it. So Wizzo is a Calypsonian, and he's sitting on my right. Everybody knew him, the Black Wizard, a man that have all the crowns and so on. A lot of things happen. And then on my left is Hugh Dolland. You know him as the proprietor and manager of the Spice Basket. Well, that is now no longer operational, but also he's a Calypsonian, and he used to be in charge of a Calypso tent back in the 60s, correct? 68, 69, around there?
69 we started.
Right, so we're going to tell you more about that, started in 69. But we want to start in the 60s, and our session this afternoon, or this, as you look on, is not to do any historical context, but to just talk about experiences over the years, particularly starting with the 60s. And you may ask why the 60s, and I'll tell you the background to the 60s now. Now, Wizard and I come from the same parish, St. Andrew. We're proud of that, big parish. But we also straddle two communities. We used to rival one another sometime. We used to call them the petty bourgeois in Laddie, because he's from Laddie.
Laddie goes to Lansdowne, Grenada one
Yes. And of course, I came from the cricket mecca, the village of Ron Lewis and these fellas from Union.
Yeah.
But there was a good element of collaboration in that the cultural art form of Calypso was very much alive in those villages. We had a lot of fellas like Stallmeyer and Bonzo and Gezai, who was Wizard's uncle. And of course, my own father, he was not a Calypsonian, but he used to play the stringed instruments, quarto, banjo, guitar. Now, these fellows wrote their Calypsos, but what happened is around carnival time, that is when you would hear them. So we didn't have tents. And what would happen is that they used to go in chambers.
Chambers.
Right, that's what they call it. They used to go in chambers to quietly sit there and write their songs. And then they used to have rehearsals, but the rehearsals used to be in the junction of the village.
Right,
so tonight, we know they're going to rehearse in
Laddie
Caranwell Junction,
Junction,
Laddie
Junction,
Junction, Carlinewell Junction,
Junction,
Marcus Junction, and that's where they used to practice. They used to go in the junction to practice, and the villages would come out and sit down and listen to the practice. But before we got to the practice session, they used to go in chambers to write the song. No. Wizard and I were children spies from since then. Two of us used to go in the people's chambers. Boy used to get there. I no car, we used to walk.
Well, yeah, but I mean, walking was a thing like long time, and you know, normally you go into the house and listen.
Right. So you've gone to the house wherever chambers is, and you're listening to them songs. So by the time them reaching the village now to start the practice, we know the song already, you know. And I'm sure if they would take us seriously, we could do some good background vocals even back then. But
True.
we were not allowed in that. Particularly when they were singing their rude song on them, which is actually gospel in the context of where we are today. But they were considered rude songs, so we couldn't sing them things. But Wizard, let's just talk a little bit about your experience as a child growing up in a household where your uncle writing Calypso and singing Calypso, and some of the experiences you can remember, reflect on, even back then, in the early and late 60s.
Yeah, but the thing is that, as you rightly say, sometimes they're writing and you don't know, unless you go and hide and listen to them. You know, but so most of the time you'd wait until they're ready to practice in the junction, and then you'll come out. You know, most of the time, those days you don't have no electricity anyway, it's Masanto, you use it to unless it's moonlight and so on. But you eagerly await their parents in the village to hear the songs that they would belt out, because as Sister Ann said, they sing about the things that happen in the community. So you want to hear the latest complot, they would say, what is complot? The latest complot, the latest thing that happened, the latest gossip. Because you know that things happen, just like the Karaku Parang. You know, things happen in the society during the year, and you want to hear who go being Kai. So, so you got there with them, and then, well, as a little fella too, I mean, I learned all the songs, even before and when they practicing, and so you'd go to school the next day and start and singing those songs, and so, but, so for instance, I like this one. My uncle sang this one, right? There was this situation where some guys went to rob cocoa a long time, tiffin cocoa, and so it was a big thing. Sometimes when they tiffin cocoa, they bring a coffin, jug a coffin to frighten you. So,
Okay.
but they went to this estate back that estate to steal cocoa, and one of them got shot on a tractor. You know, used all the tractor in the yard, and so my uncle sang, 5 new convictors, first class cocoa raiders. I should think now they did regret. Deny their trespassing back on that chorus. 5 new convictors, first class cocoa raiders. I should think now they did regret. Deny their trespassing back on that. Mr. Diaz says so. Once they robbing cocoa, you could break the foot with a gun. Dead or alive, still bring them down. 5 new convictors, first class cocoa raiders. I should think now they did regret. Deny their trespassing back let. You see, if you listen to the song, who's Mr. Diaz? I mean, so you see the historical context of the song. Mr. Diaz was a magistrate.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So he said he was a serious magistrate. So you see, if you know you break the foot of the gun, bring them down.
Right.
Bring them, I will deal with them.
Dead or alive, you bring them
Dead or
down.
alive, you bring them down.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
So
yeah.
that was one of my uncle's songs. There were numerous songs around that time.
You remember anything that Stallmeyer did?
Stallmeyer did one. Quite a number of songs Stallmeyer had. He had political songs.
Yes.
He had song about
He did the one about Uncle Gary.
Uncle Gary. You understand?
Let us all join together to greet
I
our
think-
premier. He wrote that one?
Yeah, I think you remember that one. I think
Yes,
you remember
yes.
that one. But the one you have a song about oh mother, more pressure on me. So much weight I cannot carry from the GNP. Oh mother, more pressure on me. So much weight I cannot carry
From the GNP.
They suspend the Constitution quite in the House of Commons.
Go. Let me go.
Oh, mother, more pressure on me. So much weight I cannot carry from the GNP. That's the most I can remember of it.
Yeah, but
But-
they sang a lot of these political things because I remember him singing another one about let us all join together to greet our premier, singing Hey Hey Hurrah.
I remember that he sang that when during the
Meet the People
tour.
Yes,
Meet the
yes. So
People
we used to have Calypso inside Meet the People tour.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, them
Yes,
Calypsonians
yes.
would come out and sing their songs and so on.
You know, any little thing happen, they sing about.
Yeah.
They sing about that. I like this one too. Okay, there's one thing about Calypso a long time was there's always competition in Calypso, whether it's on the stage or not. So you have one band, a string band from, let's say you have a string band from Ladig, and you have one, let's say from Kahoot. They would have a war. They would sing on each other in Carnival. They're fighting for control of the road. You know, who's the best band? So they're giving each other talk. So you call that Mépris. You know, Mépris or
Mépris,
Peacock,
yeah.
Mépris and Peacock. You know, so the one would make a song. For instance, there was this one called Invader from Granba, Kahoot, Granba area. Sing this one. There's one called Banana. There's one Calypso and one called Invader. So Invader singing about banana. Aye, banana. You letting down them songs that you didn't want Invader to know. In gambling, certain money go. Aye, banana. You letting down them songs that you didn't want Invader to know. In gambling, certain money go. Banana was a stray way. He didn't have no way to stay. So he'll crop more money to buy satin, invest it in gambling. He say, aye, banana. You letting down them songs that you didn't want Invader to know. in gambling satin Montego.
You catch me with this one.
Yeah,
I don't know what that one. Period.
They don't want to
you
see
really catch me
that's
with
an
that.
important one because they like to sing on one another.
Yes, they did. And they had their own match, Because, remember when they're practicing the road, when they're moving, because
Yeah,
remember the
moving.
bands used to go around. When they stop, that's when they give you the real hardcore lyrical calypso.
lyrical
But when
calypso.
the band start to move, they had their road match that they're moving with. So even then, the concept of the movement and the road match was in.
The same one about your people,
About my people.
Union fellas.
Yeah. A fella died. Long ago when people die in the village, they used to wash the dead clothes by the river and put it to bleach and all kind of thing, right? And the man died and they put the dead clothes by the river to bleach. And those fellas go and take the dead man pyjama. So they write a song. Who write that song?
I can't remember the writer. Union fellas,
Tiffin,
dead man's pyjama. And they say it's Caressa. Union fellas, Tiffin, dead man's pyjama.
And that is when they move it.
Down by the
movement.
river,
Union fellas, Tiffin, dead man's pyjama. And they chip in
people
and
balling for murder. Union fellas, Tiffin, dead man's pyjamas. And they say it's Caressa.
Union fellas, Tiffin, dead man's
pyjamas. You see, Caressa was a Calypso too, so they like to sing about other Calypso.
Yes.
Caressa was a Calypso.
And then there was this man that had a shop in the junction in Union. He used to sell rum and stuff. Was an Indian man, and he used to have a lot of hair growing from his ears. So the villagers used to call him pig ears. So he bought a bed for his mother, and something happened, and he and the mother followed. So he go and he take back the bed. You remember that song?
His mother,
Pig ears bring back the iron bed.
His mother, I love her.
One of them. So they write the song about the man now. Pig ears bring back the iron bed. You could shoot me. You could shoot me leg. You could shoot me dead. Pig ears bring back the iron bed. Pig ears put mama on the floor.
So mama was my mother then? Okay,
Yeah, it was his mother.
Okay.
Remember that? So let me get a key. Let me go. You remember that? Pig ears
Bring back the iron bed.
You could shoot me like you could shoot me dead.
Pig ears bring back the iron bed.
Oh, pig ears put mama on the floor.
Pig ears bring back the iron
You
bed.
could shoot me like you could shoot me dead.
Pig ears bring back the iron
And
bed.
that again was a road match.
Yeah.
So when you move it, when the band
Yeah.
moving, they move with those songs.
Yeah, because you stop in the junctions and you sing, and then you move to another junction. So in between, you have to sing.
It's similar like the sort of chant that you have with the short knees
Well,
when they're going through, but
you see, all this, you could hardly separate Shango, Shotney, Maple, you could hardly separate
Yeah.
those kind of songs, whether it's calendar songs and stuff.
Yes.
You hardly separate them.
Yeah, they all have the thing. But I want to leave you with this. Coming for you. No, you remember, you started Calypso Rama in 1960 something.
69.
69. So we could graduate a little bit now into this 69 because I think we pull our era. Because a lot of things you're going to talk about, we're going to twin them, because when you sing in the drill, you had 20. So we
Yeah.
have to talk about that. But you started Calypso Rama going into the 60s. And I know you had some interesting journeys.
My brother and I started Calypso Rama. We also had a club, the Progressive Club. So we had other members, and we just decided among ourselves to start singing calypso. And we had most of the guys, and we were very, very close together in the community. And we decided, let us start a calypso tent. So we had the first tent in 1969 was in the place called the Tavern, which was right next door to where we lived in Bolio.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had a tent upstairs. It was a small building, about half the size of this room here. And obviously it was filled. And the next year we decided now we had to move to the Bolio RC school. And that would have been 70, 71. And we outgrew that also. And we eventually now had to fence around the Bolio schoolyard and build a stage. And we had the tent there. And it was a very successful tent because, again, we had a number of Calypsonians. We had over 20-odd Calypsonians performing. And that in itself was good for the art form. It was good for business. We used to charge $1 was the entrance fee. And despite the fact that we were charging $1, we were able to pay the Calypso monarch of the Bolio Calypso Rama tent more than the national Calypso monarch. Because when I competed in when I was in the finals in 1973, the Calypso monarch got $500. Second place was 300, and I got 200 third place. And a nice little trophy from Sir Eric in Rock Gardens. That's where they had the presentation.
Prize-giving ceremony.
Prize-giving ceremony, yeah. So, but it's always been very, very interesting. As you mentioned earlier on, in terms of the Calypso art form, what it does, it actually mirrors society. As you say, they were singing on what was happening in the respective villages at the time and whatnot. So you basically, and it's no different with Calypso. Anytime you listen to a Calypso, you have a better appreciation in terms of what was actually happening during that period. So we can go on and on with regards to that. In 1970, 72, 73, we had a VACO scenario in 72.
So we
can come to all that.
Just now.
Going on the road.
There were some Calypsonians from that tent that engraved in my memory, because as a young nurse coming from the country, you come down in town, they will call you country girl, but you're into the Calypso and stuff, so you're following the tent. I used to follow that bolio tent like nothing, yeah? But I could remember some fellas like Caruso. Caruso used to be in that tent with you?
Caruso, yes.
Right. And Caruso used to have some bad tunes and things, real tunes.
Yeah, man, great performer.
I don't know if you remember that. He sang something about why go through married life if you know you can't afford to
No, that was
marry.
Skef.
That's Skef.
That was Skef, yeah.
But one of the, I'm trying to remember one of the songs that Caruso sang.
He sang many.
Honka Snoring.
He sang Ha 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 Snoring. He sang that word. Yes, he was in the finals with that in 1973. And
You could remember that at all?
Oh yes. He was very comical,
Yeah,
and that was again reliving an experience he had with a guy by the name of Jerome that gave him a good licking, and he sang about that, And one of the verses, he was basically sleeping at the time, and then Jerome came in, I say the verse was basically ha ha ha, a snoring,
I lie down in bed, don't doubt me, boy.
Ha ha ha, a snoring, I lie down in bed, look me trouble. Ha ha ha, a snoring, I lie down in bed, for nothing at all. Jerome want to kill me dead. And then he had a verse. When I get the lash, I say, well, I'm dead. The man drop a next one right to my head. I hold on to the wood, it was me and he. My foot bounce and throw down baby Snappy. My radio fall and my flashlight break. Then I see the man wasn't out for fake. So Caruso jam himself to the wall. And this is the way how I start to ball. More than we call Dora. I swear I lie down in bed.
Don't me, boy.
Ha, ha, ha. I swear I lie down in bed. Ha, ha, ha. I swear I lie down in bed. Oh Lord, for nothing at all. Jerome want to kill me dead. I should also mention, Caruso was also the road march king in Trinidad and Tobago in 1959 with a Calypso, Run the Gunslingers. So when you hold them and they arrest them, do not find them, do not prison them, send them in the square, and everybody together, beat them with a gap, all who sleep up to the that.
My father told me, long time was not so. They could have walked in peace anywhere that they had to go. Whether day or night, they never had fight. And nobody never uses to be in pride. But nowadays, well, it isn't so. They would knock you down for a green mango. And when they do these things, they go so wrong and call themselves famous men in tongue. That's why when they hold them and they arrest them, do not find them, do not prison them, send them in the square, and everybody be there. Beat them with the cap, all you see from the run with that.
So that was 1959. So he would have joined the tent in the early 70s, around 71. And he had a number of Calypso. He was a serious Gary supporter. And, so, you know, when they had that chopping up in Grenville, he sang one, Bring Back the Rope and Bring Back the Cat.
I remember that.
He sang that in the finals in 73 also. And then the price of rum went down. So, rum gone down, so he was celebrating. You know, he enjoyed a good drink.
You remember that song about the rum condom?
No.
I vaguely could remember it. Yes. So we're going into your era. You sang a couple calypsos well. The one I remember you for is Manico, I Have a Road March for You. So you had to sing that song for us this evening.
No, that would have been that. I sang that in 75 after the passing of Caruso. But prior to that, I was in the finals in 1973. And again, I sang a calypso on the vehicles because of what transpired in 1972, when, as the calypso would say, I would just say, well, carnival in this country was always. You're with me there? Well, look, I could go along with you, just to give a little something without you catch on.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, carnival in this country has always been pleasing to me, and I hope it will be continued in 73, for in 72, it was sad to see vehicles came to town, and they ruined we mass completely. So I'm asking Mommy, what is going on? Tell me, vehicles invade town. Man, they just trample everybody. Carnival stop at 6:30, but Mommy, not in 73. Man, could jump in until the crazy. Well, everybody was jumping, feeling real happy. Manikou was just standing, not one blade did I see. But as they reached the band, as though those fellas turned magicians, and the amount of blades that I saw were too numerous to mention. So I'm asking Mommy, what is going on? Tell me, vehicles invade town. Man, they just trample everybody. Carnival stop at 6:30, but Mommy, not in 73. Money could jump in until the crazy. Just the last verse, because if you know Bogo the police officer, that's the Sousa. Yeah, he got a, Well, it was something to see vehicles run to go off from the city. And all kind of blasted shout and the police get cut from ears to mouth. That was real bacchanal, not what we know as carnival. So I'm begging in 73 that we really play our mass peacefully. And you're going to the chorus again.
What is going on?
Yeah.
But you see how Calypso is history? Because
that's right.
A lot of young people right now don't know that after 72, Veco and Shotney were banned from the streets of Grenada's Carnival completely. Now, and I remembered when the Mass Band Association had to actually write and ask for the return of those particular traditional mass back into the streets. You remember that?
But the same way they cannot ban jab, they couldn't ban shot. I mean, if guys still play,
yes.
they ban them, still play.
They came back and then they gave them permission to put back on the mask, because even when they came back and they were playing, you couldn't play with a mask.
You couldn't play with a mask.
And then you had to again ask for the permission. So these things have a historical context. And a lot of times, you hear the Calypso, but every Calypso has a little piece of history behind it. So we continuing.
But you didn't say, people might wonder who Manikou is.
That's the Manikou.
I know, because the song say Manikou.
Yes. So Manikou just sing his own song.
He sing his song, the Mighty Manikou.
The Mighty Manikou. I remember
the good old days, man. We really enjoyed it.
The mighty that everybody was.
The whole idea was entertainment, and that's the whole. It was not dollar and cents issue. It's just a matter of entertaining, and people came out for the entertainment, and then, and what we actually did too, in order to create balance in the tent, we worked along with each other. So you would have a composition and you say, well, listen, why don't you do X, Y, Z?
Yeah,
And
right,
sit down with you and it wasn't a matter of if I should help him, there's a possibility he'll win and whatnot. That was never, the whole idea was what can we do to entertain? And I think we did so successfully.
I think we're
over
missing
the
that.
years.
We're missing that in the tents these days.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
entertainment aspect.
So we need to go back to that.
Well, because you see, everything is geared towards competition.
Winning. You ain't sing the song, you know. Manico have our own match for you.
Yeah,
man.
that song again was as a result of the passing of Caruso in early, would have been around January 1975. We were extremely close, but there's so many stories that I can tell you of Caruso. As I said, he enjoyed a good drink. I could recall in 1973 going down to CSA Center, the tent. We had a show at CSA Center. The show was supposed to have started at 8 o'clock. By 7:30, sold out. Standing space, everything gone. And we wanted to ensure, Caruso, as I said, he really enjoyed a good drink. And I wanted to ensure that when we got to CSA Center, at least he was in a position to be able to perform. So I collected Caruso at his home the morning about 8 o'clock. And he was with me for the whole day. So we're now supposed to be leaving Bolio at 6 o'clock to go to CSA Center. So I dropped him home around 5 o'clock. So I said, okay, get ready, I'll pick you up at 6. According to the saying, who tell me do that?
Big mistake.
Caruso decided to make up for lost time. I dropped him home, he changed, got ready, and went straight to Miss Muriel's shop. When I got there about 5 to 6 to pick up Caruso, Caruso sprawled off on his chair, knocked out completely. We had to pick up Caruso, bring him in the vehicle. Got into CSA Center, obviously you bring him on. You don't want to put him to sit down because he might fall off the chair. So the safest place to put him was on the floor. So we put him to lie down on the ground there. When time came for Caruso to perform, call Caruso. Caruso, we shaking Caruso to get up to perform. Caruso, eventually we got him up. This guy got up, came up on the stage, put on a performance second to none. He didn't miss a beat. And when he finished that, he just went back and lied down right until the end of the show. You know. But I mean, it was just amazing, you know, the quality of the performance that he put on. In fact, that is when Papi Tet saw the tent and enjoyed the accompaniment. And he said, listen, I want to be part of that tent. And then he joined the tent thereafter, and that's when he came out with Way Janice Gone, which was one of the most very, very, very popular road march in Grenada. And so he sang with us for that period, 74, 75.
But still come back to you to sing that song
so Caruso
Didn't get
passing, that was another story. So we sang the Calypso. Now what happened is, at the funeral, Father Leo, because I'm saying all this, so you have an appreciation in terms of the composition, you know, the song in itself. So Father Leo was extremely critical of Caruso. I mean, he wasn't very polite in his expressions and so on. You know, when he came to church, you know, every time he came, they had to carry him, baptism. He wasn't too sure if he got married, and when he's dead. So he never really came to the church on his own and whatnot and so on. And some of the Calypsonians there and then were not too very happy in terms of the tone and how it was going, you know, very condescending sermon at the time. And they just got up, went up to the altar, picked up the body, walked up, left the church, and went down to the cemetery. And Father Leo was good enough to then
follow them,
came down to the cemetery and performed the final rites and so on. And that is where I composed this Calypso. And I got home one evening all night, pretty late, maybe midnight. And while I'm there, that sound just came to me, and you wouldn't believe within about half an hour, I wrote the entire song. And it was, well, Carnival is here again. Manikou was left in the rain. Just because it happened so sudden, I ain't get time to plan out nothing. So I lie down in bed. Believe me, I distressed for so. When who else came to my rescue? But the Lord Caruso, if you're hearing Manikou, I have a road march for you, just to keep the tent alive. For Carnival 75, unfortunately I'm not there, but of your triumph I would hear. And before I go, please give my regards to all that polio. Then we went and sit by a rum shop. Heard a man, we started to rap. He had his shirt in his pocket. If you see how the man get fat, he said, for this tune I'll give you. Believe me, you'll have to make one. And please don't tell me you're broke, because the price of rum just gone down. So you promised Manikou, I have a road march for you, just to keep the tent alive. For Carnival 75, unfortunately I'm not there, but of your triumph I would hear. And before I go, please give my regards to Father Leo. Then I say, now Caruso, tell me, what was this rush about? Why you had to leave us so fast and go? He said, boy, I thought you know. I've been jamming down here for so long, and the tourist season gets low. So I signed contract with St. Peter, and now he won't let me go. But he promised Manikou, I have a road march for you, just to keep the tent alive. For Carnival 75, unfortunately I'm not there, but of your triumph I would hear. And before I go, please give my regards to
Father Leo. You see how we living through to the experience? Because back in the day, nobody used to have rehearsal and thing, you know. You go in the back there and them fellas used to say, catch me, which means wherever I start, you have to catch me.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes when they ask you for a key, they used to say, give me a slow key. You know what I want a slow key.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen now. I'll call some names, some Calypsonians of yesteryear. Tell me if they come back to mind at all. So Manikou, we gone through with you, eh? They're Manikou and they're Wizard, but I'm calling some name now. Dictator, Papi Tet, Darky, Unlucky, Melody, Slim, Gospel.
All of them.
And the list going on and on and on. These are some names I can recall almost immediately.
And then we had Dishonest.
Dishonest too?
Yeah,
Dishonest was in the tent.
Go home.
And
Fingers?
Go home.
Home.
Yeah, the Skef.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but before you, if you don't mind me just saying
Sure,
this one,
Right.
as I speak of Dishonest, name and nature. 19 going into the 1974 when we had independence celebration.
Right.
And all the political upheavals and what have you, you know. So don't think for one moment that the Calypso tent escaped that period. Dishonest was paid by a Gary supporter to sing a song, a Calypso in favor of Uncle Gary. But at the same time, the NGM concluded that Dishonest was one of their supporters. So he came and he sang this song in support of Uncle Gary, and at the end of it, you know, so you can see his envy the man. So he met Kendrick Radix in town. Kendrick said, my hair singing a song in favor of Gary. He said, that ain't true. That ain't true, man. I have this script here. I could show you the lyrics. And he searched in here, nothing in his pocket. I could show you. No, I so Radix said, he said, all right, okay, no problem, my son. He said, you know, must go up and check the tent out one of these days. So now he uneasy. So he going on stage and he show if Radix in the audience. So before he go on stage, he asking you, listen, Radix, with it? So one night now, when they called him to go on stage, he called me, Maniku, come, see if Radix outside. So I look outside, and you won't believe, just at the time, I see Radix coming inside.
Oh, shoot.
So I gone backstage. I say, coast clear, man. I see him.
Set up the man.
By the time he sang the first, second bus, and he realized Radix, he bust. And he pretended he forgot the song backstage, you know. So, you know, sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but,
dishonest. You know, I've never heard of dishonest.
Oh, dishonest, yeah.
I can't remember that name.
Yeah.
So all them names are called there. Let's just go back down memory lane with some of these names.
Well, I started in 1969, and at that year, Dictator was won the Calypso title.
Yeah.
So, and it's a beautiful
Bright Out
song.
of Darkness.
Bright Out of Darkness.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly glad
We ought to be of our country. Foreigners have recommended it highly. Hand in hand for a better land, a people who could understand that's business. Brighter out of darkness. In the Caribbean, there's an island formed and set aside by nature's hands. It's so beautiful to see. Really, Spiceland of the Caribbean. Among the West Indies, I say Grenada, please. Overwhelmingly proud, we ought to be of our country. Foreigners have recommended it highly. Hand in hand for a better land, a people who can understand that's business. Brighter out of darkness.
I remember that.
A beautiful song. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, lovely.
Beautiful melody. I think he won the
Lovely.
Road March and Kong at the same time.
Yes.
You know, a guy who was defending that he was Mighty Hurricane.
Hurricane.
Hurricane, yeah, from
Yes.
Cloutier.
From Cloutier.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a little piece. I was a little boy then. I was still going to school and I started. Good morning to you, mighty Hori. Me boy, accept me sympathy. I was so worried and so confused. When I heard the news, as a friend, I am very sorry. What you think happened is that you're the defendant monarch, but his sister died.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know, so he was went in a state to compose and so.
Okay.
So you just make the song, good morning to you, mighty Hori.
So he write the song to
Boy,
himself?
huh?
He write the song to himself?
Somebody saying that to him.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I
Somebody
yeah.
saying that to him.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Good morning to you, mighty Hori. Me boy, accept me sympathy. I was so worried and so confused when I heard the news. As a friend, I was very sorry. I remember I was a little boy in the tent, and you know, those days, Juliet. As a matter of fact, the same night I went, the same night I went in the tent, and even some guy from St. George's came up to Ladig and heard me sing, and he brought me to it. And he talked to Melody the same night, he talked to Melody the same night. I started to sing. And no rehearsal. Then we go in a corner and chukum.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I started to sing, you know. So, Hurricane was the defending monarch at the time. Then, at that year, Hurricane, Dictators won the crown. I think Lord Slim came second. Slim came
Yeah.
second, Melody came third. Melody
Was
came
that the
third.
year when you sing Take It or Leave It?
No, that was the
that's
later.
another
No,
one.
same one in 1975.
1975. That
Yeah.
he came second with, we want to rule this country. We want Uncle Gary. Yeah. You know, those days you could sing song about the government and people like it. Because they're popular, right? Gary is very popular, so you could sing a song supporting Gary.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, in recent times, you sing a song about the government in power getting booed. You know, so that's
Oh, yeah.
Papi Tet again was a great Calypso.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Papi Tet, yeah.
Grenada Kitchener, we call him.
Yes.
Grenada
No,
Kitchener.
he was good.
Good melody,
Very,
and so
very
very good.
Yeah.
You know.
And then out of Birch Grove, you had those guys from Rhythm Riders Band who also used to sing Calypso, like Unlucky.
Well, you had Grenville, and remember, I used to have competition in the parish too.
Yeah.
So
big
Grenville
parish
used to have a
competition.
competition all the time. Gospo used to lose most of the times in Grenville.
Yeah, and I could
Gospel.
remember one
Yeah.
of gospel.
Gospel,
I
yeah.
could remember one of gospel song. because Uncle Gary had done the Granada Road.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
put a mark
yeah,
in between
yeah,
the road,
yeah.
and he called it a highway. So Gospo sang that song. Give me a key there, I think I remember it.
Yeah.
They open up a highway in Granada. Bring it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Too low.
yeah, yeah,
And you see, I sing it with them fellas, so
Yeah.
it's a little too low for me, so we had to
They
bring it
open
up
up a highway in Grenada.
Catch me, catch me, catch me. Right. They open up a highway in Granada with different rules and regulations. They open up a highway in Granada with different rules and regulations. A lane on the left, a lane on the right, a bridge in the center with a red light. One lane for car, the next for over. At the end of the bridge is a flyover. And if the police catch you reversing, they go charge you for reckless driving. They ain't want to know where you're going. They go charge you for overtaking. So you have to jam slow, make sure you know the right way to go. Keep to left and then to keep to right. And in the center, look for the red light. But if you break fuel down, make sure you walk with another one. They say to tell you in case you break fuel down, make sure you walk with another one. That was one of Gospel songs.
I remember that, yeah.
That was,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
1976.
76.
yeah.
But,
Yes.
but you were singing this in the 60s. I remember you had a song about, we have a woman governor who's also a doctor. That was about
Albino?
Hilabino.
Right, right. Oh,
I
yes.
mean, and those days, you know, the women would start to get some prominence, you know, try to promote women. So women governor, woman who's also a doctor, we have a woman in this place. I can't remember the whole song, but I mean, instead of sing about women being prominent in the society in those days, you know. So, but he wanted to sing and just Calypso title on quite a number of occasions. Even Jojo, your friend.
Jojo, yeah, Mikey Jojo.
By
Yes,
Jojo,
Mikey
he used to win on Greenfield all the time.
Yeah, he was, yeah. He used to call him,
And going back to the 70s, we had a police officer who was kind of like the Don of the streets. He controlled Grenville. They used to beat people, Belma the Badger. And I remember Unlucky, was it Unlucky? That
Unlucky,
he sang
Unlucky,
a song
yeah.
about Belma. And it went something like this.
Let me give you a nice key there, madam.
Yeah. I'm waiting on, catch me, man, catch me, catch me, catch me.
Go ahead.
I am not a politician, I have no side, but I love to uphold the law. Don't get me wrong, but I must comment on this police officer. I am not familiar with the man, try and understand, but I hear his name start with B. And I read recently in a Gazette paper that B is a ASP. So I tell you to beware of this man. When he aim, he doesn't aim wrong. I say keep clear of this man. He does practice on monkey in Graniton. Whether day or that, he don't make skylark, brother, please, I don't tell no lie. But you better not to get yourself tangled with the law or else crap or smoke your pipe. Remember that?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So you see, I didn't get a key, but I remember the song.
No, that's good, that's good.
And that was good lyrics. He says, some people say he acting fair. Some say that he has side. But as for me, if I only get a glimpse of the man, whoops, I run in and hide. Each and every day they just send him threats, and still you know the man ain't afraid. He does jump and play all inside the lion mouth, and yet he does make the grade. That was a man's song.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And that was about Innocent Belma.
So I want the police to intervene.
Ah, yes, that was the next one.
That
You
one-
remember that one?
I want to keep to a little.
Which one is that?
So I want the police to intervene and have some inquiries into the sudden disappearances of those unborn
That was
babies.
Unlucky.
Something is definitely wrong, I see. I don't want to complain. At one time they big and fat, no telling born, but they just ain't pregnant again. Yeah.
Before some girls just get stuck up, and they ain't want the public to know. Some of them afraid the humiliation they will undergo. So I hear they put their head in one, and they form an association. So anytime a maternity case turn up, they decide them children can't born. So I want the police to intervene and have some inquiries into the sudden disappearances
of those unborn babies.
Sing it.
Something is definitely wrong, I see. I don't want to complain. At one time they began fat, no telling born, but they just came pregnant again.
Get the next one. I believe that them little children frightened to show their face. Or perhaps the astronauts taking them up into space.
Some
Tell
say
me magic,
the
magician,
performing tricks down here. But the only kind of tricks he's performing is to make children disappear. So you want the police to intervene and have some inquiries
into this
sudden disappearances of them unborn babies.
Sing it.
Something is definitely wrong, I see. I don't want to complain. At one time they began fat, no child born, but
And
they
they
just
just
ain't
pregnant
pregnant
again.
again.
And remember when them fellas used to say blow boy even if you not no brass in the band, right? When they get sweet, so they used to say blow boy, but you not no brass, nothing to blow. Yeah. So we look at Slim Goes Poor. Let's go back to these two icons, Papi Tet and Melody. These are two fellas.
But strangely enough, I don't remember any Melody song. You remember any?
Melody.
Except Juke Me.
I mean, I guess you just sing all the slow songs.
Yeah,
so maybe
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
you never remember them.
They
but,
never really
Yeah.
Who
very
sang
impactful.
Good Morning, Madam?
Papi Tet.
Padai Papi Tet. I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
Melody
Good
song.
morning,
Madam, I come for the thing, which thing? I come for the thing that I left by Miss Comanson.
Who sing you better don't worry because I pooped already? Who sing that?
That's Papi Tet.
Papi Tet.
Yeah, Papi Tet
I'm
sang
trying
that,
to remember,
yeah.
yes. I'm trying to remember Melody song.
Neighbor, where the toilet day?
Bye over there. Bye way.
You say you better over there. You say you better don't worry because I poops already.
And somebody else, that other song, not Miss Kuman sing another one. Where Janice gone?
Yes.
Who sing Where Janice gone?
Papi
Papi Tet.
Papi Tet,
I'm
yes.
trying to remember a melody song because you see, there was once upon a time we used to wait for Trinidad Calypso
Yeah.
for our
Road march and
road
everything
march and
was there.
everything.
Yeah,
We depended on them. And I remember the year when Shadow did the Bassman.
74,
That was 74.
1974.
And
Yeah.
we had, I think that was a year when we actually started with this whole process of road march. And so I'm not too sure. You guys might be better able to clarify that.
Well, they were always judging road marches and so on, but I mean, not much prominence was given to the road march except in 1986 when the LA Postal was the very first person who provided who sponsored the road march to the tune of $2,000. And that was the very first time that a road march price was paid. That was 1986. But as we talking about Papi Tet, I could recall in 1974, obviously we had a, going into independence and all the upheaval and what have you. I remember there was an entrepreneur by the name of Veronica Adams. She had Hamilton Inn on the Lothers Lane.
Yeah.
And she brought up both Shadow and Cuckoo to perform. And unfortunately, because of all the politics and what have you, that event didn't go off at all. Persons boycotted it because of the politics and what have you. And it was the Calypso Rama tent who had to really, we put on a show at the Empire Cinema. And fortunately for Shadow and Coco, they were able to get a few dollars to go back to Trinidad. Papi Tet obviously was the star at the time, and the big drawing card at the time. And Manikou with his with his Calypso, and we had a very, very good cast. So generally, we had very, very good support. And I always remember 1974, 75, that period, because he won in 74, so that would have been in 75. There was no carnival in 1974. So in 1975, that would have been the year when that happened. But Papi Tet was always a very, 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 very good entertainer. good composer.
I ain't going to no courthouse.
Yes.
I ain't going to no church because the priest and the lawyer don't know your business too much. The blinking priest
the
and
lawyer, something that is really true. The blinking priest and the blinking lawyer no more bad word than you.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
That was Papi Ted.
Yeah,
That was Papi Ted again.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Was that any other
John is gone.
one of those? Oh yes, we had Lady Beginner back in the day, but I can't remember none of Lady
You know a
Beginner.
lady called Lady Angie, she used to sing with you?
Oh yes, Lady Angie. In fact, I spoke to her today.
Lady Angie.
Yeah, Angie. Yeah, she's in
It's funny
California.
how I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Angie.
I can't remember.
Beginner was yes. I
Beginner
remember she's
song,
Manfred Horn.
Oh,
Manfred
yeah,
Horn.
Manfred on. You
Yeah.
see Papa John, the only thing cool him is on.
On, yeah.
Manfred on. Manfred on.
To cool any man, the only thing to cool him is a horn.
To
Yeah.
cool any man, the only thing to cool him is on.
Yeah.
Manfred on. Manfred on. See Papa John, the only thing to
can't
cool
remember
him
that.
is on.
Yeah.
I can't remember that one. We had Lady Beginner, and then we had Lady Cynthia up afterwards coming up.
Lady Success.
Lady Success.
Yeah.
Somebody saying Defender.
In the 70s, we had Defender in the 70s.
Defender, yeah, you also had
Flying Turkey came in the 70s too.
Flying Turkey.
Yes.
72 now.
76, 75, 76.
70.
He won in 76.
Yeah,
What Inspector?
76.
He won in 76.
But we had
Original Inspector,
we had
right? So when
the
the
original inspector.
right.
Original
Original
inspector
Inspector,
sang things
yeah.
like give me a key, Dele. Catch me.
Go ahead.
Partner, me ain't sitting down home. I ain't going and walk the land. I ain't care if it's I alone. You may say, Inspector, go cut out the hand. A planting nutmeg and banana. A planting right down to Tanya. And I know when I reap me crop, my pocket will be always fat. So when you see me in the cold mountain, what a planting, nutmeg and banana. I use me cutlass to me say that I a planting cassava. Riding me donkey till me bottom bruised. I exchanging I go end up without shoes. Listen to me partner, that is agriculture. I dig in the soil and I planting in style. So that was one of the ones I remember. He had another one.
Yeah, it was two of them.
Grenada.
Is so nice and gay.
We can't say
We
Grenada.
have
Right here, I'm going to stay.
You can't say it. You can't say that again. You have to say
Grenada is so nice,
Nice
I
and-
say.
we have beautiful sunshine, blue waters and white sand. The population is small, but that doesn't make no difference at all. No discrimination on this little island, as far as my eyes can see. Everybody living quite peacefully. You see, Grenada, what a nice and Coastal and Calypso. The people so beautiful and them children going to school.
Tell the world.
Grenada is so nice and stay. It's right here I'm going to stay. I go tell you flat. Anywhere I go, I'm bound to come back. So that was two of his songs.
I spoke to him a few days ago, and he was hoping, and I told him I think it's a given that they would invite him to be on the 50th anniversary, because he was crowned the Calypso monarch.
First Calypso.
He was the
First
Independence Calypso monarch. Yeah, 1974.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Scara. What's Scara singing again? Music. Mr. Raven, let me hear it. Music. Whatever, let me play it. Brab, 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 brab. Brab, 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 brab. Brab, 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 brab.
Scara was the Calypso
4
monarch.
o'clock in the morning,
1970 Calypso monarch. Yeah.
Scara was sleeping.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Did he sing who sing I'm sweet, sweet Grenada?
Scara.
The lovely place in the West Indies.
Yes, Scara sang that.
Say Grenada, a nice place to know. Grenada, Silver and Calypso.
Yeah.
Stop criticizing everybody. Learn to love your country, something like that. You wanna come with that?
Yes.
And you say, Mommy, I'm feeling sick. Send for the doctor quick. When the doctor come and say, Mary have a big belly.
Mary what? Mary what?
Mary have a big belly. The children of nowadays, they're looking for trouble in any way, mama. Long time when I go into school, I was in trouble when I break the rule, but nowadays it isn't so. Mary in trouble, nobody know. Oi. Mommy, I'm feeling sick. Send for the doctor quick. When the doctor come and say, Mary have a big belly. Mary pregnant with big belly, pregnancy weight, whatever. But that was a Trinidadian song, you know.
Oh, really?
Well,
Well,
but you know, guys do all kind of things. They take the song and come and sing it.
Yeah.
but people used to buy lyrics and call it
No,
what
but
again?
the song was sung before in Trinidad. I mean, up to recently, people do that.
But anyhow, as we wrap up, I mean, we reminisce for a good little while. We look at the 60s, we look at the 70s. We didn't even touch the real 80s, because in the 80s you had all these new people coming on stream,
Yeah.
like pre-revolution, post-revolutions, people like Mantis and Jamo and Turkey.
Will that be our
and
next segment again?
That's a
Yeah.
whole new set of discussions.
Facts and everybody.
But you know, as we kind of graduate into the 80s, this guy did a calypso that will always be on my mind. And I don't know if anybody remember that song. I tried to go back in memory lane, but it was right after the revolution. Queen's Park Stadium. And the praying mantis walked on stage. I have a fella that here with us, and I'm sure he might remember the song, so afterwards I'm going to ask him and he will tell me. And the song started with, Dear Comrade Morris Bishop, working class champion is gone. Amen, amen, amen. That's all I remember of that song. And I remember he delivered the song and Queen's Park was quiet. The song finished and nobody applauded. It was almost as if the boy invoked a spirit. And then about 30 seconds afterwards, the whole place erupted in applause. And I'm seeking, I'm looking. So anybody out there that have a copy of the song, please contact me so we can get it. But he did some powerful songs, and
Now
he
he
had
was a
one he
good
did
composer.
on
Federation.
was it CARICOM?
Federation.
Federation. Instead of the unity and the fight for cultural cooperation, you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only spreading disharmony.
And hatred in the region. All over the world, poor people united. While against dictatorship, the masses keep on rising. We fighting to survive like the Stone Age man. Yet we keep on gesturing to form one federation. Grenada, Dominica, St. Vincent and St. Lucia, we are one.
Yes, we all are one. To the mother continent we all belong. Yes, we all belong. But if you want to fight for federation in the Caribbean, there is just one thing that I want my people to understand. The federation got to have one common intention and must represent the interests of the working man. The federation got to have one common direction to build one destiny for the Caribbean. We must educate, we must agitate, we must liberate. If we want to come together before it's too late.
Yeah? Good night, Queen's Park. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we think we want to wrap this up. But I'll give my partners and them anything you think we leave out and we have to talk about before we end the segment. And I say good night, good morning, good bye-bye to everybody.
Well, there's a lot we could talk about which we didn't talk about, so it's difficult to say. You know,
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
I think we'll leave that for another.
We'll leave that for another
Another
time.
segment,
Yes.
yeah.
So here what we're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen,
Rosaline.
as we go out, I want Wizard to take us out with a song.
Modern song, old song.
Any one of them.
Panman.
Panman. Let me do Panman. Panman is a classic. Make sure you put it in the key where I can help you. Eh? They treated you
With sun, the birds of your
was persecution, and them policeman had you on the run. Aye, 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 aye. Every year you come on playing, without fair you keep on jamming. You getting better and better, but on him sweeter and sweeter. Batman, you're my inspiration, a symbol of determination.
Yay!
Pan music, agree.
Pum pum palam pum pum, it's a
Musical industry, but all they offer is panorama and its frustration as carnival done.
Aye, 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 aye. Every year you come on playing, without fair you keep on jamming. You getting better and better, but something sweeter and sweeter. And you're my inspiration, a symbol of determination.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Look out for us on the next segment of Dong Memory Lane.
Grenada Cultural
And we will
Foundation.
be back with you, and this comes to you
Grenada
compliments the
Cultural Foundation
Grenada
production.
Cultural Foundation.
Pam 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 balele. They treated you with scorn. They bust up your drum. What's persecution? And them policemen had you on the run. Aye, 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 aye. Every year you come on playing, without fear you keep on jamming. You getting better and better, pan songing sweeter and sweeter. Pan man, you're my inspiration, my symbol of determination. Music, they agree, is a musical mystery, but only offer this panorama and this frustration has carnival done. Aye, 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 aye. But every year you come on playing, without fear you keep on jamming. You getting better and better, pan songing sweeter and sweeter. Pan man, you're my inspiration, a symbol of determination.
Welcome Welcome to the Calypso Series, a production of the Grenada Cultural Foundation designed to educate and entertain as we reminisce on the creative musical geniuses of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Let's take a journey down Calypso memory lane.